my message is that everyone should be ready to go ahead, be remorseful for what they have done in the past, and live better lives within these 40 days.
Christians observe Ash Wednesday, marking the beginning of Lenten season, 4th day, as clerics harp on spiritual renewal. Experts in Good Morning Nigeria believe medical collaborations is key to achieving healthcare coverage, advocate establishment of National Institute of Surgery. Prosecuting team's inability to serve the defendants through substituted means stalls court trial former Anambra State Governor Andy Uba for alleged fraud of 400 million naira. Hello and welcome to the news desk. 3 on NTA News 24, reaching you live in Abuja. I'm Comfort Amadu. We begin with Ash Wednesday being observed by various Christians and denominations today in Abuja and across the country, marking the beginning of 4th day Lenten season, which leads to Easter. It is a time of spiritual preparation, reflection, and renewal. And the journey towards Easter celebration and the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
So my message is that everyone should be ready to go ahead, be remorseful for what they have done in the past, and live better lives within these 40 days. And always remember that the church has actually 3 pillars for the celebration of this season. First is prayer, intensify it. Fasting, intensify it. Almsgiving, intensify it. It doesn't mean that it is only this season that we do all these things. We do them always, but we must intensify them within this season.
Physically, dust we are, and dust we shall all return back to, as signified by the ashes we have on our forehead. This period is one period that every Catholic should reflect on the need to do good, the need to serve Christ and humanity, and above all, the need to reach out to the less privileged.
The ashes used on the forehead are palm branches of the previous year's Palm Sunday, representing the ashes of repentance, reminding mankind of mortality and the need for spiritual renewal. A meeting of the Federal Executive Council is underway, and the chairmanship of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming after one earlier held on Monday this week. Now, the council approved several memos, including some roads projects and deployment of satellite facilities to monitor mining sites across the country. State House correspondent Musbat Wahab reports that though the agenda of today's meeting is not made known yet, Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, at the end of the last meeting, had indicated that another meeting of the council was scheduled for today. At the commencement of today's meeting, Council honored 2 former members that passed on recently with a minute silence. That include the First Lady, or the first female minister, Adenike Oyegbola, who served under late Shehu Shagari's administration, and late Chief Edwin Clark, who was a Federal Commissioner for Education, late Commissioner for Information. Senate has emphasized that the Senate is standing rule is sacrosanct, and its provisions must adhere to this. And this came up And this came up during a petition presented to the Senate on allegation of sexual harassment and abuse of office against the President of the Senate. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at the commencement of plenary had dismissed the allegations and urged the public to await the decision of the courts on the matter. The Senate leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele, and Senate Chief Whip Mohammed Tahir Mungono clarified that as provided in Section 40 of the Senate Standing Rules, a senator cannot submit a petition signed by him or her to the Senate for investigation. Our proceedings in the trial of former Anambra State Governor and Senator Andy Uba for alleged fraud of 400 million naira failed to progress before the Federal High Court, Abuja. This was due to the inability of the prosecuting team of the police to serve the defendants through substituted means all documents related to the case to enable them prepare to defend themselves. Andy Uba, his daughter Crystal, and one Benjamin Etu are standing trial on allegations of obtaining 400 million naira from former House of Representatives member Doris Ubo, with an alleged false promise to facilitate appointment as managing director of the NDDC for her. At Wednesday's proceedings, the court frowned at the delay in serving the amended charges on defendants, particularly now that only Andy Uba and the third defendant are listed on the new charge sheet.
From the prosecution filed an amended charge yesterday, and we are yet to be served. And they informed the court that we are ready for arraignment, just that we are surprised.
The matter has been adjourned to March 17, 2025 for a report of service effected on the parties. The federal government says it will continue to leverage collaborations with relevant stakeholders in its structured plans to get the estimated 17 million out of school children back in classrooms within the next 4 years. This is coming from the Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education, Aisha Garba, when she received in audience a team from Connected Development during a working visit to the office in Abuja.
Despite primary education being officially free and compulsory, approximately 10.5 million children aged 5 to 14 years are not in school. This number represents the country's about 18.3 million out-of-school children, with more than 60% of them girls, as their education is often interrupted by poverty, early marriage, and family survival needs. This parley between Connected Development Code and the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) is to accelerate progress, reduce the spate of out-of-school children through community participation framework, to capture the voices of children, especially girls, living in underprivileged communities.
Irrespective of wherever they are, we should be focusing on inclusive education.
And the key goal there is to ensure that girls can be prioritized, and we could also ensure that they get 12 years of compulsory education.
That how can we jointly improve gender-responsive budgeting, particularly at the basic education level? How can we also leverage on your strengths as you work across State Universal Basic Education Board?
So we welcome you, Hamza, and we look forward to having a structured partnership to ensure that no child is left behind.
For UBEC's Executive Secretary, Aisha Garba, collaborating with the Al-Majri Commission will allow 10 million out-of-school children access basic education within the next 3 years, while Code's Hamzat Lawal believes government's adoption of gender-responsive budgeting education framework will address inclusivity gap.
UBEC, working with other relevant commissions, are working directly, particularly with SUBEBs, will ensure that we have the necessary infrastructure, conducive learning materials, as well as environment to ensure even those that have dropped out, we bring them back into schools.
As we do this work, we must ensure teacher training, we must ensure better remuneration, but we must also ensure adequate funding in terms of the infrastructure that is needed. Every class must be conducive for children, particularly girls, because we know that when they're on their menses, without water, without toilet, they will not be able to go to school.
This advocacy is about strengthening Nigeria's basic education system through open government strategies, especially capturing voices of communities to ensure no child is left behind. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Professor Martin Sharif, chairman of Medics Across Continents, a renowned consultant, rheologist, is advocating that Nigeria should adopt innovative healthcare solutions, including robotic surgery, to address its unique challenges as Africa's most populous country. Speaking on NT's Good Morning Nigeria, he proposed the establishment of a National Institute of Surgery at National Hospital Abuja for advanced surgical training and research. Details with Kemini Williams.
Sakina Medical Outreach, Medics Across Borders and the National Hospital Abuja have been collaborating on many initiatives. The latest is a 6-day outreach to provide quality medical care to over 100 underserved Nigerians suffering from ailments such as prostate, hernia, kidney stone and others. Chairman Sakina Medical Outreach, Dr. Salman Yusuf, said this collaboration serves a multifaceted purpose, which includes reducing brain drain of Nigeria's medical sector.
Training for our young consultants and the residents who otherwise will have traveled out for workshop, and so we have brought these experts and training home. So this, we tend not to do a once-off program. Is like going to be a continuous exercise so that we can develop local manpower, and also doing that we'll be able to identify equipment gap.
We can't do away with collaboration. With collaboration, everybody brings his own quota to the table and we get the ripple effect and it's more successful.
The Chief Medical Director of the National Hospital Abuja, Professor Muhammad Raji Mahmood, said the healthcare sector is on the cusp of transformation and emphasized the role of social interventions in achieving this. Professor Martin Sharif, Chairman, Medics Across Continents, on the other hand, said embracing technology would make the difference. He also emphasized the importance of embracing cutting-edge technology to improve healthcare outcomes.
We need to educate people, most especially down to the grassroots. Some state governments, I think, would need to also key into the NHI, which is the federal government system.
So there is a lot of talent, without any doubt, in Nigeria. But I think there's a failure to grasp that talent. We need to embrace technology. Technology is here. It's not just the future. It's already happening in different parts of the world, different parts of Africa. And the way I see technology is that it allows you, an average doctor, to become excellent, and an excellent doctor to maintain excellence for a longer period of time. Historic procedures have never been done at Abuja National Hospital before. One of them was a keyhole approach, what we call PCNL, where we make a small incision to get into the kidney with stones. And there should be a National Institute of Minimally Invasive Surgery, and I believe the best place for it is at the National Hospital Abuja.
They agreed that Nigeria's huge population and robust policies have the potential to transform the healthcare sector into a highly effective system. However, they believe the key to unlocking this potential lies in successful implementation. In Abuja, Kemini Williams, NTA News.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, is reaffirming the federal government's commitment towards transforming Nigeria into a strong economic force through policies such as improving sanitary and phytosanitary compliance to boost Nigerian export capacity and to increase global demand for made-in-Nigerian products.
So just to make that point, that it's not just for what we give to other people, but also what we consume. So we're working on a whole systemic approach.
There's misuse of pesticides, and there's also salmonella contamination in some of our cowpeas. So this study and the implementation of this report will help us curb that. It will also help us to reduce or improve the quality and standard of sesame and cowpea, and help all the farmers and the major players in the value chain to comply with the pesticide residue level.
And let's take a quick break. More reports ahead.
Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and Voice of Nigeria, VON, cordially invite the general public to its 19th annual Ramadan lecture. Topic: Faith, Politics and Power, the involvement of ulama in politics and its implications. Guest lecturer, Sheikh Maruf Onike Abdulaziz, Chief Missioner, NASFAT Worldwide. Chairman of the occasion, Idi Mukhtar Meha, Minister of Livestock Development. Special guest of honor, Muhammad Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation. Royal Father of the Day, His Highness Mala Ahmed Nuh Bamali, Emir of Zazzau. Chief host, His Excellency Malang Ubasani, the Executive Governor, Kaduna State. Host, Malang Salu Abdul Hamid Dembos, Director General, NTA. Dr. Muhammad Bulama, Director General, FRCN. Malang Jibril Babandachi, Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Venue, Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Close, off Jabi Road East, off Sultan Road, Kaduna. Date, 8 March 2025. Time, 9 a.m. Inshallah. For partnership or advert placement. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Welcome back. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government and security agencies to curb banditry attacks in parts of the country where such attacks persist. This resolution followed motions of urgent public importance, drawing attention to escalating bandit attacks and kidnapping in Bakwari, Denja Federal Constituency of Katsina State, as well as some parts of Edo State. Lawmakers called for decisive intervention from the security agencies to safeguard lives and livelihoods of Nigerians wherever they reside in the country.
Kidnapping occurred weeks ago in Tsiga, Yanshuni, Kandarawa, and Lamid villages, all in Bakodo local government. Many people were abducted and is still in captivity. And the bandits demanding hundreds of millions from victims' families.
Also, a head of a vigilante group in Owan West was murdered in cold blood, and also a child in Esan Central local government area. Worried that this series of bloodbaths in Edo State has created the atmosphere of uncertainty, fear among the people of the states, affecting the socio-economic lives of the people.
Recent invasion of human population by wild elephants in Boki local government area of Cross River State was also raised as a matter requiring urgent intervention by federal government. Former Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel is assisting operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over allegations of 700 billion naira fraud. Udom Emmanuel honored the invitation of the Anti-Graft Agency for interrogation on his stewardship during his tenure as the governor of the oil-rich state. Emmanuel, who served from 2015 to 2023, faces allegation of money laundering, fund diversion, and financial mismanagement during his tenure. The interrogation stemmed from a petition by the civil society organization Network Against Corruption and Trafficking. The petition alleged that Emmanuel Udom received over 3 trillion naira from the Federation account, but allegedly left behind a debt of 500 billion naira and 300 billion naira in unpaid ongoing projects. He's also been alleged to being unable to account for 700 billion naira during his tenure. More than 1,000 Kogi State youths are to be trained annually by the administration of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo through skills acquisition as part of efforts to enhance human capital development in the state. The governor made the promise at an empowerment program in the state where 250 youths went home with various empowerment kits. Ajibola Kritsova reports.
250 beneficiaries of Governor Ododo's Youth Empowerment is to equip participants with relevant industrial skills and strengthen the state workforce. The training program is in collaboration with the Nigerian-Korea Friendship Institute for Vocational and Advanced Technology, structured to provide young people with specialized technical expertise to position Kogi State as a hub for technical innovations. The training, drawn from the 21 local government areas of the state, received specialized trainings in auto mechanics, welding and fabrication, compressed natural gas combustion, networking and system security. Other areas are software development, solar power installations, cinematography, photography, fitting and plumbing.
At my inauguration, I promised that our youth will have greater opportunities to develop skills for innovation and creative enterprise.
Earlier, the State Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Sunday Falike, stresses the need for youth to embrace vocational skills.
You have just created a brand that will last beyond you.
And we have state-of-the-art equipment. We have well-trained staff trained in Nigeria and Korea. So it was just like a cup of cake for us.
With this innovation, Kogi State is poised to become a model of vocational education and youth empowerment in Nigeria. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I'm Comfort Amodu.